Same thing. Now you're here, in this whole area, that's right here, this whole area, you're free to uh, make another crash if you want to. You're there because the strength of your body, where you mean for it to be, is right there in the middle. Records at the time that I'm going back to, I'm referring to at this time, had more of that than any other time up until very recently, within the last 2, 3 years, when people became very deliberate about whether they wanted to symbol crash. I want to crash here, bam. I want to crash there, bam. They wanted all of this and all of that. And they were just judging that off of what they heard off of other records and so forth and so on, wanting you to do something different, but was sticking right to the customary thing. Wrong. So, so after that particular time, uh, I noticed a lot of drummers became very expressive. Everybody wanted to be expressive. Everybody wanted to show how much chops they had. They wanted to show licks. They wanted to show what they were dreaming about when they went to bed last night, after they learned what they learned at the gig and all this other stuff. So what it ultimately become is everybody wanted to play. Everybody was a musician. Everybody is a musician. But what it came to be is that certain beats that were very prominent at that time, something like this. Let me think. The whole thing, so that all of the eighth notes got every bit of their note value, and by that I mean all the notes sounded with no accents, just straight eighth notes. What that did is that made a beat where people were dancing that time, and the dances that people were doing then were basically leaning over. And that whole eighth note pattern at that particular time accommodated that groove very nicely. That's the way the groove went, that's the way your body went. And when people straightened that groove back up, which Steve Gadd, a good friend of mine, was very closely responsible for, because he had a lot to do with how that whole groove went from that actual whole R&B thing and that whole, chops, going to bed and that type of thing, brought itself into Steve. It brought it to the business. That we know how to play notes, and we know how to play classic notes, and we know how to play notes that are supposed to be in the right place at the right time, and they're not too busy, and in the right place in my body is every place that I want it to be at the time. Steve was in a lot of rhythm sections. Um, at that time, Van McCoy was very hot. He had introduced a whole new business concept to the business. It was the hustle, as people started dancing and touching each other again. And the tempo at that time it was very easy. It was about right here. Remember that? Right? And at that time, Steve was doing very classic fills because his fills covered all of the places where his body was. Like, he'd be playing.